Recently, we conducted an EU migrant pre-Brexit survey. So in the weeks and months preceding Brexit, we conducted a survey, and almost 2,000 migrants responded to and completed this survey. And one of the major questions we asked was, will EU migrants decide to stay in the UK or leave the UK as a consequence of a potential Brexit? We found that the vast majority of EU migrants who completed our survey said that they would, or they intended to stay in the UK. A follow-up question we asked was, would they apply for one of the civic integration mechanisms, either a permanent residence certificate, or would they actually apply for British citizenship in the future? The vast majority of EU migrants who said they plan to stay in the UK said that they would consider a permanent residence certificate or applying for British citizenship at some point in the future. When we followed up with further questions about the time frame, the vast majority of people said that they would apply for British citizenship or a permanent residence certificate within 5 years. When we asked further questions about what were some of the factors involved in the decision-making processes about potentially applying for UK citizenship, the cost of the applications came up, obviously, and the amount of time involved. It's a very time-consuming and costly process. But some other factors came up in terms of where other members of extended families of migrants living in the UK, were they also applying for citizenship, or did they already have permanent residence? So what we found in research, especially my own research on Polish migrants to the UK, is that there's a transplantation of intimate networks in many cases amongst migrant groups. So migrants just don't, especially EU migrants, don't just immigrate as individuals. They're not just circular individual migrants. In many cases, they're migrating with or forming relationships with partners in the UK. They also bring or have children here. And sometimes, in my own findings on Polish migrants in particular, they actually migrate or with or follow their close friends and close family members. So there's a transplantation of intimate relationships. So if your sister or brother or parents, etc., or your children, if you have grown-up children, are going to be applying for a permanent residence certificate and potentially British citizenship, you might also consider applying for these things just so that the family can stay together. So this is a major consideration, a major finding from our project. It wasn't just your gender, your age, your economic position, your employment status that impacted on whether you would apply for British citizenship or not. It was also these social and familial factors too.